The Amiga has some wonderful titles and I've covered so many of them with hidden gems, games you should add to your A500 minis, absolutely tons. But today, and not about the glory days of the Amiga, oh no, we are going to be taking a look at 7 games that were absolutely awful, absolutely awful. Now, I didn't manifest these myself. I reached out to some lovely chaps over on this Facebook group here, which I will link below. And I asked, hey guys, basically, can you just tell me some really bad Amiga games that I can research and include in an episode? Of course, I'm going to mention everybody as well. And they did, they clutched up. There was over 70 comments, we had some laughs, and boy have I had some laughs and some weird feelings and vibes about some of these games over the last couple of days as part of my research. So I'm going to be taking a look at that. So let's not beat around the bush here. Let's get into this first horrific title. Come on. Welcome to Yolanda, dubbed in the ad the Ultimate Challenge. This game is an absolute bag of shit. A bag that is tied so loosely that you could probably smell the feces through your screen as we speak. You might be asking, well, what is the objective? You have to get this protagonist to the door. Seemingly easy in concept, but in practice it is a brain-smashing experience. Now let's talk about the sound. What you're about to hear is pretty much everything you're about to hear in the entire game. It's games like Yolanda that, since I've discovered it, have made me question, what is the motivation of the developer here? Why did this come to fruition? Believe it or not, there's actually gameplay though on YouTube where people go through this with no deaths. How that's done? Well, I have no idea. Maybe a decade of practicing, but who would want to spend a decade on this pure bag of shite? Don't ever judge a video game by its cutscenes or its pre-rendered graphics, because when you get down to the gameplay, as in Rise of Robots, well, there's not actually much gameplay to be had. The frame rate is shocking. The one-line moves are, well. Even the sound, the hit detection, the sound of that is monotonous. This goes to show that you shouldn't be judging a game by its cover, because on paper it looked pretty cool. And I know a lot of you out there queued for hours and actually purchased this on launch, but for me, on every platform, Rise of the Robots is a big fat smelly fail. There's literally no way. Yes way. There is a game called Neighbours on the Amiga. But let's listen to this hunk of junk, shall we? The only thing good about Neighbours on the Amiga was that it came on one disc, so you didn't have to faff about and elongate your ridiculous experience of disc swapping. Now, I'm not entirely sure as to what the objective is here, other than skating around in a Paperboy wannabe style of isometric gameplay, if you would, whilst dodging dogs, kangaroos, because yes, kangaroos really do jump around the streets of Australia. What the hell kind of stereotype is that? Cones, you name it. I mean, it's awful. I'd highly not recommend this game. But if you're a fan of it, don't be ashamed, we won't judge you. You can tell us in the comments and you will be safe, but we want to know what you like about it. So thus far in, they're all pretty bad, but Yolanda for me was the epitome of confusion. The sound design is horrendous, the gameplay is just like, what are you supposed to do? Where are you supposed to go? Why does the flipping floor turn to lava? I mean, it was just like infuriating. But anyway, we're not done. We're not done because there's more to go. brace yourselves. Hold on to your faces because Fist Fighter is here, and the menu so graciously lets us choose whether or not we have the sound effects on. Let's listen to what we get with the sound effects on. Amazing, world-class sound, not to mention these amazing roll moves that you just saw back there by this bloke in his trunks. Grab your trunks, it seems like 1980 and we're going to the swimming baths. Crikey, look at the moves as well. I mean, I just can't. I don't even know what to say. These look like they're actually kissing one another. By the way, there's no hit detection on any of these, but let me just stand on my heels and spin around like crazy to hit you, huh? Yeah? No? Back off, because Dangerous Streets is here, and to be fair, it doesn't look too bad. Check it out. Not bad sprites, decent-ish backgrounds, but the gameplay leaves a lot to be desired. Again, you can see the frame rate super janky, and in this next shot, you turn into a fridge. Yes, a fridge freezer or a cupboard, or maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but I'm not quite sure again what's going on here. Even the kind of caricatures at the bottom with the stoic faces, it just rains disgrace. And again, this is another one that you perhaps want to go and lob straight into the garbage can. Not gonna lie, I was pretty excited about Akira because, well, it's Akira, and you know, you start out, you think, okay, this looks promising, you know, it's this classic Akira, but then you carry on the first two levels, and well, let the gameplay speak for itself in this next couple of seconds here. So yeah, okay, that's the bike level, and well, levels. Pretty poor, again very slow, just disgracefully untasteful, but when you complete the first two levels, you go over to this. Now this looks like something that should be actually hosting James Pond, you know, let alone an Akira video game. And I'm not joking, for pretty much the rest of the game, this is it. This is literally the aesthetic. It's hard to even see the protagonist with the horrific colours in the background. What the hell is this? I mean, there's not even any music. It's just really lame sound effects, almost as if the world has just discovered sound effects and we're deciding to put them into a game because it's going to sound cool and make people buy it. I don't know who actually bought this. I dare say because it's one of those terrible games that'll go for thousands of pounds on eBay, but who knows? But I can assure you, and I can tell you right now, please don't waste your money. Even if you're a collector, just don't bother. Surely Human Killing Machine has the name and making of a fantastic video game, right? Bam bam pow. This is where we're at when we're kicking the F out of a dog, or is it a wolf, or maybe it's a whatever. We'll go with dog, shall we? And again, this is another one of those games that I don't think looks terribly bad, but you can see from the gameplay just how crap the frame rate is. There's no hit detection on the sound. The music is drab. It just doesn't feel fast, and I think fighting games should feel pretty darn fast and pretty darn tasteful. But this again, well, yeah, I'm going to run to eBay right now and buy myself a copy. The thing that stood out for me the most were the fighting games. A lot of people in that thread mentioned Street Fighter 2, for example, which of course I didn't include with this. I actually really like Street Fighter, and I feel like I've talked about it quite a lot. I wanted to show some games that perhaps you may have not even heard of, and thankfully so. But the Amiga doesn't have a massive amount of really good fighting games, aside from the likes of, say, Fighting Spirit, which for me was a bloody masterpiece in many ways. Street Fighter 2 was awful, Fist of Fury was awful. I mean, I've mentioned more. There were so many more that I uncovered in my research as well that I didn't quite make this final cut. There were fighting games that were absolutely terrible. I mean, compared to the console version, for example, and the arcade port of Street Fighter 2, the Amiga version just should never have happened ever. But unfortunately it did, and now we're stuck with it. I think the only good thing about the Street Fighter 2 port on the Amiga is the box art looks really cool. But we can't just buy a game for box art. If we wanted artwork, we'd just buy a print. But there we go, that's my 7, and thank you to every single one of you that made a suggestion. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy this episode. If you did, please subscribe, please leave a like, and let me know what you'd like to see next in terms of Amiga content that I could potentially cover for you. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see this lady loft, by the way, and the lady lounge in a bit more depth, I did a really packed tour of 30 minutes what this room looks like and downstairs. Go and check that out. I'll link it in the cards. But for now, thank you very much. My name is Gemma. Take care. See you soon. I need a few seconds of your time to tell you about channel memberships. If you guys want to become a channel member, click join from the main page or the second link in the description. There are 3 tiers, all with different perks for you if you want to become a team member. Thanks for your time. Let's continue with the video.